there's a very unique monk in this Unearthed Arcana. This is a monk who can heal, but also take away. This is someone who's like mastered the physical form.
Yeah, so the Way of Mercy is a new option for monks, for people to playtest. And this was another case where I came to the team with a concept and said, this is what I'm imagining. And in this case, Ben Petrosor is the designer who took it and ran with it. And the concept that I really wanted us to explore was, first off, aesthetically, a monk whose cultural origins were more Western European than Asian, because part of it is I feel the monk often leans too hard into its Asian cultural roots, and it would be nice to see us create more monks that you could see at home in a more European kind of context. So what I presented is, imagine a monk-like character in a cultural context where there would be like the bubonic plague, plague doctors. And so this is the monk who is dishing out the mercy of healing, but also the mercy of a swift death. And if anyone is wondering, why is it called the Way of Mercy when there's not only healing, but also this slaying element? Well, that's why.
When one hit the other, you're curing something.
Yes, yes.
So.
We even leaning into the sort of European inspiration, added in the option for your monk to wear essentially a mask that's like the mask that plague doctors would wear. And, it could be, a raven mask, a butterfly, which is sort of representing rebirth. It could be a tragedy mask, a comedy mask, something that could be both amusing but also horrifying. And this, cowled monk wearing a robe, going out and, maybe with one hand giving life and another hand giving death, could be a source of hope for a people, but also could be a symbol of doom for others. And that's really what we wanted to explore. And I think the subclass does a nice job of showing those two sides. This monk who was walking with both the power of life and of death.
Yeah, you can do healing damage, you can do necrotic damage, but you also have a form of attack that is very terrifying. If the target is poisoned, you can triple the amount of dice you're using with one of your attacks, I believe.
Yeah, you can make your attacks more potent, and then you can even at high levels put somebody into suspended animation.
That one's fun.
Yes.
That one, they're all fun. Yeah. But then I was actually talking to Jim Davis about this. Can I put someone in a catapult and just shoot them into the castle? And, they're in stasis, so they're not going to take damage. Yeah. But there's, interesting things. Things are very Dracula-y, again, goth. Being at the bottom of the ocean and being in suspended animation for a time.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting utility there.
And that's very purposeful. We wanted even that suspended animation ability to have both a life side and a death side, because you can use it to incapacitate a foe, but you could also use it to protect a friend. So it has this dual face, and that is the whole theme of this monk: life, death, two faces. Hence the mask. Your false face and your real face. Although you could always play a monk who has discovered that the mask they wear represents who they are better than their physical face.
Yes.
So that is the story of some superheroes, where the costume is actually a truer representation of the person than the person underneath is.
I always enjoyed Batman's realization of that.
Yeah. So I think this is really fun monk, walking both in sort of the darkness and in the light, and I'm excited to see what people think of it.
And a great bodyguard. If you need a bodyguard, this is the best bodyguard subclass you can find.
It is also an opportunity for us to explore healing magic outside of our traditional healing classes. Traditionally in D&D, healing is associated, of course, with divine magic in classes like the cleric, the druid and the paladin. There's also the bard, of course. But this is a chance for us to have healing that is not spellcasting based, still fueled by a mystical force, in this case, ki. And it's also a way to delve into a monastic aesthetic that is very different from what we typically do in the monk